The alien warlord's claws hovered inches from Lieutenant Kayla Morrison's throat when the maintenance tech stepped between them. "Stop," he said. The Krathene commander, 7 feet of scaled muscle and razor teeth, paused, not out of fear, out of confusion. "Human," it hissed, its translator crackling. "You are unarmed. You are nothing." Danny Wright still wore his grease-stained jumpsuit, still had a wrench clipped to his belt, still looked like every other low-rank technician who kept the station's life support running while officers made decisions. "Let her go," Danny said. Kayla's pulse hammered. The Krathene had boarded Station Echo 7 3 minutes ago. Shields down, weapons offline, crews scattered. She'd been trying to reach the command center when this thing found her in the corridor. Now Danny was going to die trying to save her. The Krathene laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Your species talks of bravery. I see only foolishness." "Last chance," Danny said. The warlord's claw shot forward. Danny moved. Kayla didn't see how. One moment he stood still. The next, the Krathene's arm bent backward at an impossible angle. Bone cracked. The alien shrieked. Danny twisted, drove his elbow into the warlord's throat, and dropped low as another Krathene soldier fired from down the corridor. The plasma bolt scorched the wall where Danny's head had been. He was already moving, already inside the second alien's guard. His hands found pressure points Kayla didn't know existed. The soldier dropped, unconscious before it hit the floor. The warlord recovered, roaring, swinging with its good arm. Danny caught the blow, actually caught it. His hand closed around the Krathene's wrist and held. "Impossible!" the warlord snarled. "Not really," Danny said, and threw the alien into the bulkhead hard enough to dent the metal. Kayla stared. She'd worked with Danny for 8 months, shared meals in the mess hall, complained about the coffee. He'd always been quiet, polite, unremarkable. This was not unremarkable. The warlord struggled to rise. Danny kicked its weapon away, then looked at Kayla. "Command center's that way," he said, pointing. "Go." "What are you?" "They're hitting multiple sections. I'll slow them down." "You're a maintenance tech." Something changed in his eyes. Something old and hard and utterly certain. "Not exactly," he said. Alarms shrieked. More Krathene voices echoed through the station. Danny pulled the wrench from his belt, tested its weight, and turned toward the sound. "Go," he said again. Kayla ran. Behind her, she heard impact, screaming, metal tearing. She didn't look back. Kayla reached the command center 15 seconds before it exploded. The blast threw her sideways into a storage alcove. Fire rolled through the corridor. She tasted copper and smoke. Her ears rang so loud she couldn't hear her own breathing. Through the flames, shapes moved. Krathene shock troops, 6 of them, advancing through the wreckage. Their armor absorbed the heat. Their rifles swept for targets. She had no weapon, no backup, no chance. Then Danny dropped from the ventilation shaft above them. He landed on the lead soldier's shoulders, drove it face first into the deck, and rolled clear before the others could fire. A plasma bolt missed him by inches. He came up with the fallen Krathene's rifle, fired twice, dropped 2 more aliens, then threw the weapon like a spear through the 4th soldier's visor. The last 2 charged him together. Bad idea. Danny sidestepped, redirected the first one's momentum into the second. They collided hard. He swept the legs from one, crushed the other's weapon hand, and finished both with strikes so fast Kayla's eyes couldn't track them. 7 seconds. 6 enemies. Done. He helped her up. His jumpsuit was torn now, revealing scars she'd never seen. Burns. Cuts. Things that looked like they should have killed him. "Command center's gone," he said, looking at the flames. "I noticed," Kayla coughed. Who the hell are you? Complicated question. Try me. Danny checked the corridor. Clear for now? You know the Mars Rebellion 20 years ago? Everyone knew. The colony uprising that almost sparked a system-wide war ended when Special Forces teams eliminated the leadership in a single night. The teams they sent, Danny continued, weren't exactly regular military. They were volunteers, enhanced and trained for impossible situations. Kayla stared. The Ghost Program. Official story says it never existed. And unofficial? Unofficial. I was the youngest recruit, 17 years old and stupid enough to think I could save the system. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Program got shut down after Mars. Too expensive, too dangerous. They scattered us, gave us new identities, told us to live quiet lives. You've been hiding as a technician for 20 years? Wasn't hiding, was living. There's a difference. He moved toward an access panel, popped it open, revealing emergency equipment. The enhancements don't go away, neither does the training. But you can choose not to use them, choose to be something else. Until today. Until today. He handed her a backup communicator. Station's command network is down, but this should reach the outer buoys. Call for help. What are you doing? The Krathene hit 4 sections simultaneously. Coordinated, professional. They're after something specific. Danny pulled out a tablet, accessed the station schematic. Reactor core. They're heading for the reactor. To destroy it, to steal it. Echo 7 uses a prototype fusion core. Newest tech. If the Krathene reverse engineer it, they'll have power systems a decade ahead of their current capabilities. Kayla felt cold. That would shift the entire balance of power. Yeah. Danny studied the schematic. 17 hostiles left on station, based on their dropship's capacity. Most are probably securing the reactor now. Station crew is either dead, captured, or hiding. We need to wait for reinforcements. Nearest fleet response is 40 minutes out. They'll have the core extracted in 10. He looked at her. I'm going. That's suicide. Even for you. Maybe, but you asked who I am. Danny checked the spare rifle he'd taken, loaded a fresh power cell. I'm someone who spent 20 years trying to forget what I was made for. Turns out, I can't. Not when people need me. He started toward the reactor level. Danny, Kayla grabbed his arm. The other ghost operatives, where are they? Dead. Most of them. The enhancements burn hot, shorten lifespans. Combat stress. Some couldn't handle civilian life. His jaw tightened. I'm the last one. Then don't throw your life away. Not planning to. He pulled free gently. But if I don't stop them, everyone on this station dies when the Krathenes scuttle it to cover their tracks. 300 people, Kayla. Families, kids in the residential section. She wanted to argue. Couldn't. Make the call, Danny said. Tell the fleet what's happening. If I'm not back in 8 minutes, tell them to blow the station. Can't let the Krathene have that core. He disappeared into the smoke before she could respond. Kayla activated the communicator with shaking hands, but she wasn't calling for help. She was calling to make sure someone knew what happened here, who saved them. Even if he didn't survive, the reactor levels smelled like ozone and death. Danny moved through the maintenance tunnels, silent as shadow. Below him, through the grated floor, he could see them. 12 Krathene soldiers in heavy assault gear, working with brutal efficiency. 4 guarded the entrances. 8 more clustered around the reactor core, attaching extraction equipment. Their commanders stood apart, watching. Taller than the others, armor decorated with kill markers. Danny counted seconds. The extraction rig hummed to life. 5 minutes until they could pull the core, maybe less. He dropped through the grating, landed behind the nearest guard. snapped its neck before it could turn, caught the falling body, lowered it quietly. The second guard noticed, opened its mouth to shout. Danny's blade, stolen from the first kill, buried itself in the alien's throat. No sound but a wet gurgle. 2 down, 10 to go. The third one saw him, raised its rifle. Danny was already inside its guard, redirecting the barrel upward. The plasma bolt scorched the ceiling. He drove his palm into the alien's snout, felt cartilage shatter, followed with an elbow that dropped it cold. Now they all knew he was there. The command center erupted. Orders barked in the Crathene language. Weapons swiveled toward him. Danny moved. Training took over, the kind burned into muscle and bone through 10,000 hours of impossible drills. His body knew what to do before his mind could think it. Dodge left. Plasma bolt missed by centimeters. Roll forward. Sweep the legs. From one, steal its weapon, fire twice while rising. 2 more down. The Crathene commander roared something. The remaining soldiers shifted tactics, stopped shooting, started coordinating. They'd fought enhanced humans before. Good. Danny liked the challenge. He vaulted over a control console, used it for cover, returned fire, chewed the metal to pieces. He counted shots, waited for the pause, then threw the rifle like a javelin. It caught one soldier in the chest plate, didn't penetrate but staggered it backward into another. Danny was on them before they recovered. Disarmed the first, used its weapon to bludgeon the second, kicked the third into the reactor shielding hard enough to crack its helmet. 5 left, plus the commander. His enhanced reflexes screamed warning. He dove aside as the commander's blade carved through the space he'd occupied. The weapon glowed with superheated edges, would cut through anything. The commander was fast, faster than the others, enhanced too, probably. Crathene had their own programs. They circled each other while the remaining soldiers repositioned. "You fight well for livestock," the commander hissed. Danny didn't waste breath on replies. He feinted left, went right, aimed for the gap between armor plates. The commander blocked, countered with a strike that would have bisected him. Danny barely twisted clear. The blade scored his ribs, shallow but burning. He ignored the pain, grabbed the commander's wrist, used the alien's own momentum to flip it over his shoulder. It rolled with the throw, came up ready. The 4 remaining soldiers opened fire. Danny grabbed a dead Crathene's body, used it as a shield. Plasma bolts cooked alien flesh. He charged through the barrage, threw the corpse at 2 soldiers, followed it in. Close quarters now, where enhanced human speed mattered most. He broke one's arm, stole its sidearm, shot the other in the face, spun, fired twice more. The last 2 soldiers dropped. Just the commander left. It rose slowly, reassessing. Blood leaked from its mouth. Internal injuries from the throw. "Your kind should have stayed afraid," it said. "Should have remembered what we are." Funny. Danny's breathing was controlled despite the exertion. "I was thinking the same thing about you." The commander charged. Danny met it halfway. The fight lasted 12 seconds. Blade versus bare hands. Alien strength versus human precision. They traded blows that would have killed normal soldiers. The commander's weapon sheared through a support beam. Danny's fist shattered the alien's knee guard. In the end, speed won. Danny caught the descending blade between his palms, twisted it from the commander's grip, and drove it through the gap in its neck armor. The Crathene commander fell. Danny stood over it, breathing hard now. His ribs screamed. His hands bled from catching the superheated blade. Small price. He turned to the extraction equipment, started shutting it down. That's when the secondary team hit him from behind. 6 more Crathene, fresh troops from the dropship. They must have held reserves. The first 3 tackled him before he could react. drove him into the deck. Something in his shoulder popped. He fought anyway, couldn't help it, threw one off, headbutted another. A rifle butt cracked across his skull. Everything went bright, then dark, then bright again. When his vision cleared, he was on his knees, weapons pointed at his head from 6 different angles. A new voice spoke, female, human. Stand down. Danny looked up. Captain Lisa Grant stood in the reactor entrance, wearing Kratheen combat armor, carrying their weapons. No, he whispered. She smiled. Hello, Danny. Been a long time. Danny's blood turned to ice. Lisa Grant had been Ghost Program 2, his partner during Mars. The best close-quarters fighter he'd ever seen. They'd trusted each other with their lives 100 times. She'd been declared dead 8 years ago. Training accident, closed casket funeral. You're supposed to be gone, Danny said. I got better, Lisa gestured, and the Kratheen soldiers hauled him upright. His shoulder blazed with pain. You look terrible, by the way. Maintenance work doesn't suit you. Why? Why fake my death? Why work with the Kratheen? Why steal military technology? She stepped closer. Because the people who made us into weapons don't get to tell us when to stop being useful. We were shut down for good reasons. We were shut down because politicians got scared of what we could do, what we represented. Lisa touched the reactor core almost lovingly. This fusion technology, it's worth billions. The Kratheen are paying me enough to disappear permanently. New identity, new life. No more hiding. People will die when you take that core. The station's evacuation system still works. Most will survive. She shrugged. Acceptable losses. You've lost your mind. No, I've gained perspective. Lisa pulled off her helmet. She looked older, harder. Scars crossed her face that hadn't been there before. We gave everything to the Ghost Program. Our bodies, our futures, our humanity. And what did we get? A handshake and a fake identity. They threw us away, Danny. They gave us a chance to be normal. I don't want normal. The words echoed off the reactor walls. I want what I earned, what we all earned with blood and pain and missions nobody else could handle. One of the Kratheen soldiers growled something. Lisa responded in their language, fluid and perfect. You learned Kratheen, Danny said. I learned everything. Spent 8 years preparing, building contacts, finding buyers. The Kratheen Empire has factions just like we do. Progressive ones willing to pay for an edge against their rivals. She smiled. Turns out being a ghost operative is excellent job training for mercenary work. This isn't you. You don't know me anymore? Haven't for 20 years. Lisa nodded to the soldiers. Secure him. We're behind schedule. They forced Danny toward a support column. Started binding his wrists with plasma-resistant cord. He tested it. Strong. Too strong to break even with enhanced strength. His injured shoulder made it worse. Lisa supervised the reactor extraction. The equipment hummed back to life 4 minutes now. Maybe 3. Danny's mind raced. He needed leverage. Information. Anything. The other ghosts, he said. You killed them, didn't you? Lisa paused. Most died on their own, enhancements burning them out. But yes, 3 I handled personally. They would have interfered. Why leave me alive? Professional curiosity. Wanted to see if you'd stayed sharp. She glanced at the dead Kratheen. You have. Impressive, considering you've been changing air filters for 2 decades. So what now? You kill me too? Haven't decided. Part of me wants to recruit you. We could use someone with your skills. The galaxy's full of opportunities for people like us. I'll pass. Predictable. Lisa checked her tactical display. The fleet's 18 minutes out now. We'll be gone in 2. You'll be found eventually. Probably live through it, knowing you. Something moved in the upper shadows. Danny saw it didn't react, kept his expression neutral. Kayla Morrison crept along the maintenance catwalk 40 feet up. She had a rifle, civilian model, barely functional, but pointed at Lisa's head. "The lieutenant followed you," Lisa said casually. Danny's heart sank. "I know." Lisa hadn't even turned around. "Been tracking her on motion sensors since the command center. Lieutenant Morrison, you can come down now, or I can have my soldiers shoot you. Your choice." Silence. Then Kayla emerged from the shadows, rifle still aimed. "Drop the weapon," Lisa called up. "Shoot her," Danny said. Kayla hesitated. "She's one person. You're a decent shot. Take it." Lisa laughed. "She won't. Look at her hands. Shaking. She's never killed anyone. Probably never even fired at a living target." "Kayla," Danny said quietly, "if she takes that core, the Kratheen faction backing her gains enough power to start a war. Millions die, maybe billions. You need to shoot." "Listen to him," Lisa mocked. "The moral authority, the hero. He's killed hundreds, Lieutenant. Did he tell you that? Not just in combat. Assassinations, wet work, whatever the Ghost program needed. During a war," Danny said, "against people trying to tear the system apart. And I'm just trying to get paid. Not so different." Kayla's rifle wavered. "She can't do it," Lisa said. "Regular people don't have what we have, Danny. The ability to make hard choices, to do necessary things." The extraction rig beeped. 90 seconds remaining. "Last chance, Lieutenant," Lisa said. "Lower the weapon. Walk away. I don't kill people who aren't threats." Kayla fired. The shot went wide, hit the wall 2 feet from Lisa's head. Lisa moved like lightning, drew her sidearm, fired once. Kayla screamed, dropped the rifle, grabbed her leg where the plasma bolt had scorched it. "Tried to be nice," Lisa said. Danny roared, threw his weight against the bonds. The cord held. His shoulder dislocated completely. He kept pulling anyway. Lisa walked toward the catwalk stairs, weapon raised. "Don't," Danny said. "She shot at me. Rules are rules." "Please." Lisa stopped, looked back at him. Something flickered in her eyes. Memory, maybe. The Danny she used to know. "Interesting," she said. "You care about her. She's innocent in this." "Nobody's innocent." But Lisa lowered the weapon slightly. "Tell you what. Final offer. Join me. Help me finish this. The lieutenant lives. You get paid. We disappear together like the old days." The extraction rig hit 30 seconds. Danny met her eyes, saw the person she'd been, the soldier who'd saved his life, his friend, gone now, replaced by something colder. "No," he said. Lisa nodded slowly. "Then you're both liabilities." She raised the weapon toward Kayla again. Danny stopped thinking, started acting. He slammed his dislocated shoulder into the support column. Once, twice. The pain was transcendent. On the third impact, the joint popped back into socket. His hands were still bound, but he could move now. He kicked backward, hard as enhanced muscles allowed. His boot heels hit the Kratheen soldier behind him. The alien staggered. Danny spun, looped his bound wrists over its head, crossed them around its throat, and pulled. The Kratheen choked, clawed at the cord. Danny rode it down, using its body as a shield when the other soldiers opened fire. Plasma bolts cooked alien flesh. Danny worked his wrists against the superheated cord, felt it start to give, pulled harder. The cord snapped. He was free. Danny came up firing the dead Kratheen's weapon. 2 soldiers dropped before they could adjust their aim. He rolled left, came up behind a reactor support, fired again. 3 down. Lisa was already moving, abandoning her shot at Kayla, focusing on the real threat. She vaulted over the extraction equipment with inhuman grace, firing as she moved. Danny barely dodged. The bolt seared past his ear. He returned fire, forced her into cover. The remaining Crethine soldiers spread out, trying to flank. Professional. Coordinated, Lisa had trained them well. He couldn't fight them all. Not injured, not outnumbered. The extraction rig beeped. 10 seconds. New plan. Danny sprinted toward the reactor core, ignoring the weapons fire that chewed up the deck around him. A plasma bolt caught his left arm, burned through muscle. He didn't slow. He reached the extraction rig, slammed his fist into the control panel. Sparks flew. The equipment shrieked. Emergency warnings blared. No! Lisa's voice actually panicked now. The extraction clamps released prematurely. The reactor core, partially disconnected, dropped 3 inches. Magnetic containment flickered. Radiation alarms screamed. Everyone froze. You insane? Lisa shouted. You'll kill us all. Better than letting you have it. Danny's hand hovered over the manual release. One pull, and the core would drop completely. Containment would fail. The resulting explosion wouldn't destroy the station, but it would make the reactor unsalvageable. Call them off. Lisa's face twisted with rage. Then calculation. She barked orders in Crethine. The soldiers lowered their weapons. Smart, Danny said. Now back away from the core. You're bluffing. You won't sacrifice the station. Try me. They locked eyes. 2 enhanced killers, reading each other like they used to, looking for tells, weaknesses. Lisa saw the truth first. He'd do it. Actually do it. You've changed, she said quietly. Had to. Couldn't stay what they made me. And look where it got you. Burned, bleeding, about to die for people who don't even know your real name. Better than living for nobody but myself. Lisa laughed, bitter and sharp. Always the hero. Even on Mars, you had to save everyone, had to make the hard choices nobody else would. Someone has to, and someone has to get paid. She stepped back slowly, hands visible. Fine, you win this round. We'll leave the core. Danny didn't buy it. Drop your weapon. Not happening. Then we're at an impasse. Above them, Kayla had dragged herself to the catwalk railing. Her legs still bled, but she'd retrieved her rifle. It pointed down at Lisa again. Steadier now. Lisa noticed. 2 against 1, plus the suicide option. You've backed me into a corner, Danny. That was the idea. Corners are dangerous. They make people desperate. She tilted her head slightly. You remember Phobos Station? Danny's blood went cold. Phobos. The worst day of the Mars Rebellion. The hostage situation, Lisa continued. 50 civilians. We had to choose. Save them or stop the rebel leadership from escaping. We saved the civilians, and the rebel leaders got away. War lasted 6 more months. 3,000 more people died. Lisa's voice hardened. Sometimes the math is simple, Danny. Sometimes you sacrifice the few to save the many. She moved before he could react. Not toward him, toward the extraction equipment. Her hand slapped an override switch. The rig reactivated. Clamps seized the reactor core again, began lifting. Danny lunged for the manual release. Lisa shot him. The plasma bolt hit center mass, punched through his ribs. Enhanced physiology kept him alive, but the pain dropped him to one knee. She was on him instantly, boot to his chest, kicking him back. His injured ribs cracked. I'm sorry, she said, and sounded like she meant it. But I'm not going back to nothing. Danny tried to rise. Couldn't. The wound was bad, worse than he'd thought. Kayla fired from above. The shot actually hit this time, caught Lisa's shoulder. Lisa barely flinched. She turned, aimed upward. Danny grabbed her ankle. She looked down, surprised. He shouldn't have had the strength left. Not done. he gasped. With everything remaining, every ounce of enhanced muscle and bone and sheer stubborn will, he pulled. Lisa went down hard. Her weapon skittered away. They grappled on the deck, broken and burned, versus trained and whole. Danny fought anyway, couldn't help it, landed a solid hit to her throat. She coughed, drove her elbow into his wound. White agony. His vision grayed. Lisa rolled clear, grabbed her weapon, stood. Danny lay there, unable to move. Blood pooled beneath him. "Goodbye, old friend," Lisa said. The deck beneath them shuddered. No, not the deck. The whole station. Multiple impacts. Heavy ones. Lisa's expression shifted from triumph to confusion to fear. "What did you do?" she demanded. Danny managed to smile through the pain. "Remember what I told Kayla? Call for help?" The main view screen flickered to life. Outside, through the reactor room's observation window, shapes moved. Big ones. Warships. 4 of them. Not the expected patrol vessels. Capital-class destroyers. They'd been holding position beyond sensor range. Waiting. Lisa stared. That's impossible. Fleet response was 40 minutes out. Regular fleet was 40 minutes. Danny coughed blood. Special Operations Fleet was already running exercises 2 jumps away. Kayla didn't call the patrol. She called them directly. They don't respond to random distress calls. They do when the call includes Ghost Program emergency codes, the ones we were supposed to use if we were ever compromised. Lisa's face went pale. "You burned yourself. They'll know you're alive. They'll investigate. Your cover is gone." Yeah, Danny's vision was fading. Worth it. Cutting torches lit up along the station's hull. Breaching teams. Probably 100 Special Forces soldiers armed for heavy combat. Lisa looked at the extraction equipment. The core was almost free. 30 seconds more? Then at Danny. At Kayla, above. At the incoming forces. The math finally didn't work in her favor. "This isn't over," she said. She triggered something on her wrist. The remaining Kratheen soldiers jerked, then collapsed, twitching. Kill switches in their armor. No witnesses. Lisa ran. Danny tried to follow. Managed to roll onto his side before the pain knocked him flat again. He heard her footsteps fade. An access hatch opening. Then nothing but alarms and the sound of breaching charges. Kayla reached him seconds later, sliding down an emergency ladder despite her injured leg. "Stay still," she said, pressing her hands against his wound. "Help's coming, Lisa. Gone. Access tunnels. We'll find her." "No, you won't." Danny coughed again. "More blood? She's too good." "Then we'll keep looking." Special Forces teams poured into the reactor room. Professional. Efficient. They secured the core first, station second, casualties third. A medic reached Danny, started scanning. "Subject has enhanced physiology. Multiple trauma. He's critical but stable." "Get him to medical," someone ordered. Commander's voice. Authority. They loaded Danny onto a stretcher. His vision swam. The last thing he saw before unconsciousness took him was Kayla's face. Worried, determined. "Thank you," she said. Danny wanted to respond. Couldn't. Darkness swallowed him whole. 3 days later, Danny woke up in a medical bay he didn't recognize. Clean white walls. Military-grade equipment. Armed guards. Outside the door, not good. A woman sat beside his bed. 50s, sharp eyes, uniform that marked her as Intelligence Division Colonel rank. "Mr. Wright," she said. "Or should I say Sergeant Daniel Cross, Ghost Program, Service number 7739. Danny's throat was dry. "That person doesn't exist anymore. He does now, the moment you used those emergency codes." She pulled up a tablet, showed him files. His files, everything. "You've created quite a situation. Lisa Grant is still out there. She has Kratheen contacts. access to classified intel. She's the situation. We're aware teams are hunting her. The colonel leaned forward. But you're the one who's here. The last confirmed ghost operative. Enhanced, trained, and apparently still very effective. I'm retired. Retirement is a privilege, Sergeant, not a right. She stood, hands behind her back. The ghost program was shut down because it was too expensive and too dangerous. But the threats haven't gone away. They've gotten worse. The Krathene, the outer colonies, things you don't even know about. Find someone else. There is no one else. You're unique, irreplaceable. She paused. The government wants to reactivate you. Full reinstatement. New program. Better oversight, better support. Danny closed his eyes. He'd known this was coming. Known it the moment he'd stepped between that Krathene and Kayla. And if I refuse, you won't, because you're not the type. The colonel's voice softened slightly. You spent 20 years trying to be normal. But when people needed you, what did you do? He didn't answer. You fought, because that's who you are. Not because of the enhancements, not because of the training, because you can't walk away when others will suffer. The door opened. Kayla stepped in, limping slightly, leg wrapped but healing. 5 minutes, the colonel said, and left them alone. Kayla sat where the colonel had been. You look terrible. Feel worse. They told me what they're offering you. New program. Active duty. Yeah. Are you taking it? Danny stared at the ceiling. I don't want to. I wanted to be done with this. Be normal. Fix air filters and complain about the coffee and have a life that doesn't involve killing. But Lisa's out there, and she's not the only threat. The colonel's right about that much. He looked at Kayla. If I don't do this, someone else suffers. More Station Echo 7s, more people who need help that won't come. Kayla reached out, took his hand. Then do it, but do it right this time. Make them give you what you need. Support, backup, a team you can trust. I had a team once. Look how that turned out. So build a better one. She squeezed his hand. I'm putting in for transfer. Intelligence Division. They're fast-tracking it because of what happened. Kayla, no. You have a career. A future that doesn't involve getting shot at. Had a career. Then I met a maintenance tech who turned out to be something more. She smiled. Turns out I'm not great at normal either. Spent 3 days giving statements, and all I could think about was how many other threats are out there. How many other Lisas. This isn't your fight. You made it my fight when you saved my life. Twice. She stood. I'm doing this, with or without you, but I'd rather it be with. The colonel returned. Decided, Sergeant? Danny thought about Lisa, about the people on Station Echo 7 who'd lived because he fought, about all the people who wouldn't if he walked away. He thought about 20 years of hiding, of being less than he was, of pretending the enhancements and training didn't matter. They mattered. Mattered. Conditions, he said. Name them. I choose my team. I choose my missions. And if I say no, that means no, within reason. No, absolutely. I'm not a weapon you point and fire anymore. I'm a soldier. Treat me like one. The colonel considered. Agreed. Anything else? Lisa Grant. When we find her, I handle it. Nobody else. She tried to kill you. She's still my responsibility. The colonel nodded slowly. Report to headquarters in 1 week. We'll begin assembly of your team. Welcome back, Sergeant Cross. She left. Kayla grinned. Sergeant Cross has a nice ring to it. Better than Danny the maintenance tech? Different. Not better. Both are you. She headed for the door, paused. For what it's worth, I'm glad I met the maintenance tech first. means I know you're human under all the enhancement and training. Am I, though? You saved 300 people at significant personal cost. You refused revenge when it was offered. You chose the harder right over the easier wrong. Kayla smiled. Yeah, you're human, maybe more than most. She left him alone with his thoughts. Outside the window, stars glittered. Somewhere out there, Lisa was running, planning, building new networks. She'd be back. People like them always came back. But next time Danny would be ready, not as a weapon, not as a ghost, as something better, a protector, a soldier, a man who'd found his purpose, not in hiding from what he was, but in choosing how to use it. The enhancements didn't define him. The training didn't own him. His choices did, and he chose to fight.